BBC, which in my book is British Bullshitting Corporation, has a new tag now. It is exhorting the Gen Z in India to rise just like the Gen Z of Nepal and Bangladesh, and they are shocked that the Indian Gen Z is not rising to the bait. It's not just them. Rahul Gandhi tried the same thing, and no one is able to make the Gen Z in India to rise up against their government for the perceived inefficiencies and inequalities. But what is going on? And why is British Broadcasting Corporation, or should I say British Bullshitting Corporation, not looking at their own problem? Grooming gangs, the Shariafication of their entire country, the fact that nobody other than a Muslim can become the mayor of London. All these things are not a problem to them, but they want to take aim at India and try and paint India and Indians in a poor light. I mean, this is something like these people have some sort of a devilish pleasure in trying to paint India as something that it is not. And also, British Broadcasting Corporation has become so bad. I mean, they have all the lumpens who will probably not be able to find employment anywhere else, still let their, for example, a lot of British of Pakistani origin, many Marxist, Leninist, left-leaning loonies of India sitting there, and these are all the people who are working. I heard that some vernacular versions of BBC have actually shut down. That's a good news, and still that British pride refuses to go away, and it is time that they are put in their proper place. What is India doing? India is rising, India is shining, it's finding new ways to keep its Gen Z occupied and enthused. That's what I'm going to be doing in this small slide deck, and a request to all of you to please like this video, and if you have not already subscribed to our channel, do subscribe to our channel. So, what is this? Is it journalism or psychological warfare? Every few months, BBC India releases pieces that blur the line between reporting and strategic agitation. The latest one was an article called Gen Z Rising, Why Young Indians Aren't Taking to the Streets. I mean, they are trying to say, why the hell are you not rioting? See, Bangladesh riots were induced by America because they wanted to try and get to control China. And as always, America knows how to mess things. And then once they uprooted Sheikh Hasina and made sure that nobody would give her asylum, she's stuck in India right now, then they didn't know what to do. This Yunus is a joker, and he is going about doing various things. In the meantime, the population of Bangladesh are suffering, and India is applying a slow but tight squeeze. And this is going to only mean one thing. It's going to throw out this latest set of rascals, perhaps go back to Sheikh Hasina. So between one or the other, the problem that Bangladesh faces is that it was something that was done by America, and now I think America is kind of ready to wash its hands off of it, and looks like, again, another failed entry into the pottery barn thanks to Victoria Nuland and those bunch of rascals who were doing it. The loose of the world, Donald Loose of the world. Anyway, let's move back. What happened in Nepal, I don't think that was something that was instigated by somebody from outside. It was a little bit of corruption plus the basic things where they were seeing how the Nepo kids were living in a lap of luxury while the rest of the population was suffering in abject penury. So that's what led to this. And I think now the current dispensation has actually gotten away from China and closer to India, and that has actually shocked China more than anybody else. So be that as it may, why does BBC have to worry about why Indian Gen Z is not revolting? I mean, what business do they have? But the problem is, many of us, including people from my generation, believe that BBC speaks the absolute truth, nothing but the truth, so help them God. Well, one reason for that is also that when Indira Gandhi was assassinated on that day, BBC had said that she was already dead, whereas All India Radio would not announce it. And the reason given was that All India Radio, the official mouthpiece of the government, would not make a statement until a new Prime Minister is in place. At that point of time, Rajiv Gandhi was traveling. He had to come back to the capital, and Zail Singh also had to come back to the capital. All nonsense. Anyway, So this is what happened. So people think that BBC is the absolute arbiter of truth, and it is not. They have been completely taken over. This is going faster than, you can say flush and the water goes down your water closet. This is BBC is completely lost its credibility. BBC, Guardian, all of them are under the capture of left loony liberals, and perhaps being funded by entities like Qatar and China and so on and so forth. So there is a distinct bias against India, Indians, Hindus, what have you. And Qatar takes great pleasure in doing this. I really wish India would completely cut its requirements of LNG and only LNG, because they don't have much. Gas is all Qatar has to offer. Completely cut them off and then say bye-bye, we don't want to talk to you ever again. Maybe that will help India to start taking these Qataris head on. Anyway, that's a story for another day. Now, what happens is the BBC's narrative follows a propaganda formula. Praise restless Asian youth who overthrow government. By the way, some of these youth are probably going to face gallows once the regime change happens in Bangladesh. I have no doubt about it. They have committed some atrocities. And then this Jamaat group, which needs to be, cut to size, I should say, that is also going to happen. A lot of things are happening in Bangladesh. We are not seeing it now. It's gone a little bit quiet, because my guess is that some form of retribution is coming back to some of these perps, and we'll have to wait and see when the dust settles, and I'll give you an update on that. So how long will these articles keep coming from BBC? For example, there was an article in September 2025 titled Gen Z Revolution, and it said, it basically glorified the revolution in Nepal. And so what? Like I said, this was an organic revolution. Maybe there were some catalytic factors that maybe made people to take up arms. 20 people were dead. A lot of things happened. Firing has been done, but it looks like it's not the Nepalese police that fired, but somebody else was firing. Who were these somebody else? Looks like it was snipers. Then that means somebody else wanted to create this thing. Innocent lives have been killed. So BBC has no freaking business talking about what is happening in India, especially when they nostalgically recall things like the Anna Hazare movement, the CAA protests, Jamia clashes, or the golden age of youth dissent. This is something like somebody is really frothing at the mouth, and all that froth has found itself into this article. And BBC will again, they'll have a video, they'll bring 4 people, 3 of them of Indian origin, Hindu names, and they will all run down the country. I've gotten sick and tired of it. If you can't respect your own mother, what kind of an individual are you? I asked this thing to many people, not just left liberals, but also Christians who have emigrated from India into other countries and then start running down India. And the latest example is a guy called Dinesh D'Souza, who is supposed to be one of the leading lights of Republicans, and then he's getting shit from MAGA. So this is where the reality dawns. They don't care that he might be a Christian, that he might be conservative. They just see him as a brown skin. This is the reality, viewers. This is why I never shy away from all these things and say, it doesn't matter if you like to say that you are different, that you are special. At the end of the day, you are not. The sooner you realize it, the better you will be. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, the maturity of the Gen Z in India is being misinterpreted by BBC as that of fear. I don't think it is true. And this is not just BBC. There are others who are also trying to come up with these kind of stories. And I think recently Washington Post was trying to tie Adani and LIC. That's another story that is doing the round. So all these things, whether it is Arab Spring or Sri Lanka's revolution, all these things have happened, come and gone, but they're all shocked, such as the BBC's, that nothing like this is happening in India. They want India to also have its own Arab Spring. And this is being done in many, many ways. But if you look at the real Gen Z revolution, what are they? They are silent, they are digital, and they are decisive. India's Gen Z revolution is constructive, not destructive. They are creating startups, building civic technology, driving fintech, and coding for global markets. Their rebellion is through innovation, education, and nation building, not riots or rage. This quiet confidence is what is unnerving Western media, a generation that cannot be radicalized. And they're going to try more and more. In fact, you are seeing people from one particular community going and trying to run down Indian festivals or trying to do these love jihad activities. By the way, many people are still in denial about this. I would like the Home Minister to make a statement in the Parliament saying that love jihad is real. Once he said the exact opposite, for which I was extremely disappointed that he would make a statement like that. I hope now wisdom prevails and you have to say that there is a problem and it needs to be taken head on. So this whole Gen Z campaign, it started with Rahul Gandhi, doing tweets on social media, mirroring the BBC's narrative. You see how the toolkit starts coming into play, right? One article comes, then Rahul Gandhi starts saying something, then immediately the entire Congress ecosystem starts bhajan mandal, they start singing the same kind of tune. You've seen this thing before, but somehow, somewhere people are not rising to the bait. They're just ignoring Congress. I mean, that is the biggest insult you can give to the grand old party of India, 60 plus years old in power, and it's probably 100 plus years. 1885 is when it was formed. So you're talking about a 140-year-old party. And it galls the hell out of them that nobody is even giving them a second glance. And in conclusion, India is calm, it's not submissive. It's sovereign confidence. BBC may crave another Shaheen Bagh, but that is not going to happen. Today's Gen Z is not failing its destiny, it's fulfilling it quietly and confidently. Their silence is not fear, it is focus. India's democracy thrives in its restraint, not in its riots. For the BBC, that silence is deafening because a peaceful, progressive, and proud India leaves no room for its colonial narratives. And with this, I hope that BBC learns its lesson. In fact, the British taxpayer is being fooled. Stop funding BBC. Shut the damn thing down. That's all I would say. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.